Welcome to another edition of Thursday Thoughts with Ashley Hanna and Angelo Datseris, your local real estate and mortgage experts here in the Charlotte metro area. We have got a lot to go over today, and I'm going to wait a second for Angelo to hop on, and we will get started. Where's he at? Is he coming? There he is.
Hey Ash,
Hey,
how are you?
Doing?
I'm doing well, Sorry we got on a little bit later here today, but it's all good.
That's all right.
It's all good. We'll get through it.
That's all right.
We'll get through it. I'm gonna clean my screen up here just to make sure that it's nice and squeaky clean. All right. Man, we kind of got a lot to talk about. You're right. I was hearing you your intro right before I got on the call, but the elephant in the room when it comes to the real estate world. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. The $1.8 billion verdict. Let's talk about that.
So I've done some reading on it. I'm not an expert on all the facets.
Sure.
And so
Right.
I don't want to misrepresent anything, but based on what I feel like, how I understand it, is how I'll present it. Of course, I'm not an attorney or anything like that.
Sure. Right.
So real quick, for those that may not know what Angelo's talking about, so people are suing buyers and sellers. This one was sellers, a group of sellers.
Yep.
They are suing. It's a class action lawsuit.
Yep.
Several larger real estate firms saying that their home prices were inflated.
Colluding to inflate the home prices.
Right.
Yeah.
There was colluding on the part of the real estate agent, because the real estate agent, when they sign a listing agreement, this is typically how this works, there's a fee, right? There's a fee associated when you're a seller and you work with a listing agent, that in that listing agreement, they're going to dictate what that fee is going to be. And it's a percentage of the sale. And in that agreement, you usually are also offering a buyer's agency commission as well, which goes into the MLS, and that is what the buyer agent receives for bringing a buyer to the table to buy your house. And then all of it gets paid from the seller, right?
Yep.
So you sign a listing agreement with me. Let's just say that if you want to work with me, I charge 3% for myself. That's my fee. And I recommend to you to get the most visibility, to offer a buyer's agent compensation. So I'm going to recommend you do 3%. I think that going as low as 2.5% can be okay, but I really don't like to encourage anything below that. But it is your right. You're signing an agreement as a seller, right? All this is spoken to you. You know about it all. You can choose to not sign with me.
Right.
So that's how it works. And so the sellers were saying that I guess it wasn't explained to them like that, perhaps. I'm not really sure how that works, though. Here's why I haven't said a lot about it, because I don't understand how that works. I don't understand, unless you're a listing agent and you are not having these conversations. But
right.
Even still, I guess it could happen. I guess a seller could not understand what they're signing and think that they don't have a choice,
or doesn't read it,
or right,
and
which happens a lot. But honestly,
to be honest, that happens quite a bit.
But I don't, I'm not sure how that's collusion.
Right.
So like so there's two schools of thought here. That buyer's agency commission, which is typically paid by the sellers.
Right.
That's how it typically works in the United States of America. And this has been like this for years and years and years. And that way the listing agent represents the seller. The seller's like, I want a buyer, so we're going to pay the buyer's agent, but because we want them to be separate, we want them to have representation, right? They need representation apart from the listing agent giving representation to the seller so that everybody's protected during the transaction. I that's how it works.
Right.
And so I don't, I'm not sure how it's going to change. I I don't see any immediate issues right now with buyer's agency compensation. That's my personal view. You know, I've heard that
this is going to be dragged out in the courts for years. Yeah. I mean, there's I'm going to appeal it and this and the other. And I didn't mean to put you on the spot when it came to that, but I know that's a lot of questions. I'm sure you've been poked at with. You know, I've been asked that question too. People reach out to me. You know, and I didn't know your take on it. Just wanted to maybe just kind of get a little more understanding. You know, I personally think that it's 100%, you need somebody on your side. You need a buyer's agent. And so if, let's say, hypothetically speaking, I went to sell a home and I'm only paying the listing agent to list my home, but I'm not going to be paying a buyer's agent to help bring people to my home. Do you think the house is going to get sold? No.
It's going to be way difficult.
It's going to be very difficult. Correct.
Who's going to go? Who's going to let these potential buyers in off the streets to your house? Like who? As a listing agent, when a buyer is unrepresented, nothing gives me more anxiety because I know that I have to be so careful to not say something wrong, to not, you know, it is a huge liability, and you are buying a home worth, in some cases, millions of dollars.
Correct. No, and I'm not sure, you know, if you read different news articles and it says excessive fees, right? Forced to pay, like I have an article pulled up here. They were forced to pay excessive fees. Who forced them to pay excessive fees?
Were they held at gunpoint?
Were they held at gunpoint? Right, exactly. You know, and it's, I think it's just a lot of misunderstanding of how these things work. Now, I will tell you, and this is probably a very good an example. In Greece, there is zero MLS. There's like no buyer's agents. There's no listing agents. There's no mortgage brokers. When it comes to like, if I was to try to, because when I was over there, I was like, oh, how much is this home worth? I was like, where can I go online to pull this information up? Zero. There's zero. And when it comes to title issues, deed issues, horrible. There's always issues when it comes to chain of title because there's no structure in place. So if people want to say like this process is shitty or it's too much money or it's not a good, go to a different country and try to buy a property. It is a nightmare not every country. I don't know every country, right? But Greece specifically, because I know that.
Right.
There is nothing. I mean, when my father was over there, you know, this is years ago when he looked at buying a property, like it's difficult to find information on anything. And then a lot of times the title is owned by two different people and people get, you know, there's a lot of corruption over there too. So it's, you know, things are built like not according to code because they want to skirt the government. It's horrendous, absolutely horrendous. So having a structure like this in place is imperative to a healthy real estate market.
To protect
you drive over like where we stayed the coast. We were on the island of Crete for my son's baptism, and on the coast there was this gorgeous house that we stayed in, And then you drive we walked, up and down the street, which is right on the coast of the Aegean Sea, the Sea of Crete, and there's houses boarded up because people either just left them abandoned or because it's so dysfunctional that it's crazy to me. I was like, gosh, how do I find any information on this house? They're like, yeah, forget it. You're not gonna find any information.
That is that. I can't even imagine.
Right.
I can't, that blows my mind. Like a beachfront property.
Like you're on the Aegean Sea of Crete, the Mediterranean, and it's boarded up. Like, and you know that if somebody knew about that, they could go in there, buy it, and just make it an Airbnb. And
right.
So it's just mind blowing to me that you need to have structure. You need to have an infrastructure in place when it comes to this. Like National Association of Realtors has done a good job with the MLS, and you have to be represented. I mean, and I'm going to say something else too. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep talking, but I tried to sell. I thought I knew it all, right? I tried to sell a property. I'm going to call myself out. I tried to sell a property, me and Kendall's property, sell her townhouse, and you helped. I finally had to wave the white flag, right? And I was like, I thought I could do this on my own, and I can't. So it is the people that don't understand it or have not tried to go through it on their own don't get it. They will not get it. Now, mind you, when in times of COVID, when rates are 2.5%, was it a little bit easier to maybe sell it on your own? Probably, right? Because everybody's just throwing money at you for your house, right? But you need, and I have a document that I'm going to share with you. It's 176 reasons why you need real estate agents. So I'm going to share that with you so you can share with your people. It's imperative. You don't understand. We don't understand. The general public doesn't understand your worth until you explain it. Kind of like I told you about the mortgage stuff, where they just use my pre-approval letter and then they shop. They just think we're a commodity. But when it really gets down to it, when the shit hits the fan, you need somebody good on your side to help you. I can see I'm kind of getting worked up about it because it means a lot. You need somebody knowledgeable to help you with this. You can't go in it alone, and you can't not use real estate agent.
We're passionate about it because we've seen people get taken advantage of. We've been called in to fix things when
Correct.
People have tried to do things on their own or tried to go the discount way or something, and we've seen the nightmare situations that these innocent people who are just, it's expensive and they're just trying to save money, and we get it. I get it, but it's going to cost you more money if you're not protected
100%.
in the long run than if you just have that protection up front and you can put all measures in place and you can make sure things are being taken care of. I think that, I think there are some things about the real estate industry that need to change 100%, right? I feel like the MLS is a little bit antiquated. There's some, Zillow's been able to get in there and kind of use real estate agents for their listings and then charge us for, it's a little, there are some things that can 100% be improved.
Yeah, of course.
And I do believe that there are agents out there who have misguided buyers and sellers about how they're paid. I do believe that. And that's
100%. I agree.
But I also believe that I know my practice is. I would like to think that is how the majority of people work with. That's the only type of people I like to associate myself with are professionals in the industry that are going to explain fees, structures, and what things are charged and why and who's getting paid. Right. And that is what all this is about. And here's the other thing. Until there is a program to help buyers also finance what it would be to hire a buyer's agent outside of having the sellers pay for it from the proceeds, I don't know how because affordability is so hard right now for so many people. I am not sure how that model would ever stand on its own. I'm not sure how a buyer could afford separate representation outside of the model as it exists today.
You made me think of something. So let's just say that the buyer's agency is not getting paid for by the seller, right? Then you probably have people like, real estate agents being like a consultant, right? Possibly. People could maybe be a consultant. So you can pay me $1,000 to consult, right? But then it's going to kind of be like a mortgage. Then they're going to just do a quick on Google on real estate consultants, and they're going to just go ahead and call their way to the bottom of who's going to be the cheapest consultant for them on the real estate.
Weird. I didn't think about people calling themselves a consultant like that.
I mean, that could potentially happen with something like this. If you're not gonna, if the seller's not gonna pay an agency, like somebody 2.5%, 3% to do that, then you would think that, okay, well maybe I'm gonna get ahead of it. I'm just gonna call myself. I'll be a buyer's consultant, right? Yeah. I'll consult the buyer to make sure to help him write the contract, and it may not be. I don't know. I'm just like the first thing that came to mind, right? But it's a slippery slope when it comes to.
So confusing.
Very, very confusing. So I really think that I don't really know if much is going to come from this, honestly.
Besides these attorneys getting paid massive amounts of money. Massive.
And you never hear anybody, and nobody is questioning any of the attorney fees or shopping for attorney fees. It's just whoever is used, no questions asked. It's honestly, they got the easiest job in the book.
Yeah. I mean, I can't, those attorneys off of that $1.8 billion settlement or whatever, they're on a beach somewhere.
Right.
They're not hanging around to see anything. They don't, I'm like, make sure that you're working with honest people. Make sure you understand what you're paying for. Make sure if you're a buyer, you understand how, you're using a buyer's agent for a service. Do you ask questions, right? I love to ask questions. I try to be, proactive in communicating things like that are oftentimes taboo, but, sometimes I forget. And it's ask questions, just ask questions, right?
And read too. Read. And if you don't have anything, if you have a question about something that, has something to do with fees or being charged or whatever it may be, just ask the question. And if you don't like the answer,
it's your choice.
Ask someone else, right?
It's your choice to hire a real estate agent to negotiate fees with them, right? It is your choice. Nobody is being, I don't know if there's some weird stuff going on out somewhere where people are being held at gunpoint by real estate agents to sign these agreements. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
So that's my long-winded take. Right. I've been reading a lot. I'm like, maybe I'm missing something. I'm not really sure. I can't believe that the plaintiffs won. I don't understand. I just feel like there has to be more to it that maybe I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, get ready to find out, right?
All right. There's more lawsuits happening.
Yeah. And
jumping on all these.
Now that this happened, I think everybody's jumping on this bandwagon for lawsuits. So it's going to be a battle. Yeah. It's going to be a battle. Well, I know you have a hard stop at 2, right?
Well, no, it's okay. I got 5 or so more minutes.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, let's hop into. I want you to talk a little bit about what's been going on with mortgage rates this week because we had some good news, right?
Yeah, we had some good news. Jobs reports came in healthier. I'm going to log into my trusted computer here because it went blackout. They dropped last week. They did. There was a good. Oh my gosh, I can't get my computer. There was a good week. We had a good Thursday and Friday of last week. This week there was a little bit of a reversal. Probably halfway of. I might say that it's but rates have fallen. From the low 8% mark because they did top 8%. The 10-year Treasury got above 5% yield, which hasn't hit that way in a long time. And rates did, hit 23-year highs, last 2 weeks. And they have settled down a little bit, which is a good thing. Is it here to stay? I don't know. It's yet to be, it's a TBD. Usually when there's a 3-day rally in the bond market, that is good news. And there was, some settling off of the 3 days because it did rally for 3 days and then kind of trickled off. But then it turned around on Monday. They lost a little bit on Monday, but there's still a lot of stuff. This whole Hamas thing. I just can't even put it over there. There's a lot of stuff, globally that is affecting this rates too. But money's still out there. Temp buy downs are real. We can use that. We've talked about that in the last couple quotes I sent over to you. But there's solutions for sure.
And this is what I'm telling my clients. I'm just like, I know that a lot of the headlines are saying, rates are at all-time high.
Doom and gloom. The news loves to spread the doom and gloom. Just don't.
I'm like, you have to look at like yourself. And like, at the end of the day, you need somewhere to live, right? And you got to pay somebody. You might as well be paying yourself.
True.
I mean, yes, okay, you're paying a bank, so whatever. But it is very rare that I talk to somebody when they buy a house and they say, I wish I waited.
You got to do a social post about that. For real.
You're right. I should do a reel. Maybe I'll do one. But it is.
That'll be the hook. I wish I waited.
Yeah.
Said nobody ever when I bought a house.
It is always, I wish I did this last month, or I wish I did this 6 months ago, or I wish I did this 2 years ago. It is always that. It is never, I should have waited. Because guess what? The hardest part is getting in and doing it, right? Once you get it and you own it and you're making those payments and that's it. Like that's right. The battle. You're in the game now. You are in the real estate game, my friend. Mm-hmm. And that is where the majority of millionaires make their money. Mm-hmm. So welcome.
That's where they start.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't think I know of any millionaires that rent.
No. I mean, there was that thing for a minute with what's his face? Who was saying you shouldn't own? What wasn't it? Like Gary Vee or?
Oh no. I remember.
Elon.
Like, don't own a house. Whatever. Just that's bullshit.
Cardone? No, not Cardone.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Cardone. I forget who. I know who you're talking about, but I'm like, come on, dude.
That's stop. So yeah. Or advice. No. Yeah. That's not how it works. Hello.
Right.
But so, yeah, I mean, what do you think, is going to happen, like, as we get into winter and, the holidays and stuff? Like,
I think there's going to be a lot of movement for when the election comes around.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of shakeups, and that regardless of what political side you're on. Always, yeah. Yeah. But I think, if we can continue, I mean, just going to email rates are on the rise. So,
really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it was, but I mean, it's a teeter. It's a seesaw, man. They're up and down, up and down, up and down. But, and everybody's paying points right now because the bondholders, it just costs a little bit of money to buy the rate down just a little bit. And that's because everyone is expecting rates to come down in 6, 8, 12, 24 months, whatever. So those loans aren't going to be in existence for too long. So the higher interest rates aren't paying the bondholders like the lower rates are. So because they know they're going to be refied out before too long. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. I'd say Q2, Q3 of next year is when everybody is talking about the rates potentially trickling down in a recession. A recession is coming if we're not halfway already here.
Right. So and rates will go down, but like we're not like I don't think that rates are going to come down like by 3 or 4 or 5 points. Like, do you?
No.
I don't.
Oh hell no.
Right.
No.
Like And I think a lot of people think that. And I'm like, I don't think that that's going to happen. I mean, like, okay, we could be wrong because like we're just forecasting and ultimately this is a guess, but like, no.
Right. And you know, I think I had somebody on the phone yesterday and they mentioned something about their, you know, somebody, so-and-so got a 2 to 3% rate back, you know, in 21 or whatever. I said, look, I said, like, just stop. I'm just, you know, I'm just being blunt. Just stop. We're not there. We're never going to be there again. This is the new norm. So just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I said, so you want to either pay 100% interest or you want to pay 7 or 8% rate? Let's talk about it.
I love that. I love that. That is so true. And that's great to remind people. I mean, like, you cannot like compare to like what was.
You can't compare it. I'm sick of hearing the comparisons about it, honestly. It's just like,
I know.
Stop.
I hear, we just accepted a verbal offer for my listing in Belmont, and you know, it's not where we wanted it to be, and my client is great. She's great, but I could just imagine people saying like, oh, well, it, you know, 6 months ago or a year ago, it would have gone for X or Y or whatever. And I'm like, you know, yeah. And, you know, it's weird. Someone was asking me, my dentist was asking me today how the real estate market was. And I'm like, it is weird. And like, it doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason to what's going on. Like if a property gets multiple offers for whatever reason, or if a property sits on the market. And honestly, we've only been on the market for 21 days. It seems like a year.
Right? Seems like it's, you know, time has just stopped.
Yeah.
21 days. I mean, that's,
like,
geez, that's normal market. That's normal.
Right. And like, it's okay. Right.
You just waking up every morning sweating, wondering if you're going to be getting any showing time requests.
Every night I'm praying, like, please God, let us get an offer on our listing. Like, I'm just like, you know, just really reaching because I'm used to the environment we were in, and like we all have to make some mindset shifts.
100%. Yeah, for sure.
So
good stuff.
That was good. That's all we got. I gotta run. My baby's gonna be home.
Right. Oh, I had a baby.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
awesome.
Angela, do you have a calendar in front of you? When is our next Tuesday or Thursday thoughts?
Thursday thoughts is scheduled to be on the 23rd.
Okay.
Which is Thanksgiving Day, so we may not want to do that Thanksgiving Day, do we?
No, I don't think so. Maybe let's maybe do it the week after.
Push it to the 30th?
Yeah.
Got it. November 30th.
All right.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Where can everyone find you, Angelo?
They can find me at CLT Mortgage Guy pretty much on every platform. Instagram, CLT Mortgage Guy, Facebook, I think it's CLT Mortgage Guy. Leverage Lending Group, Instagram, or TikTok, CLT Mortgage Guy, Twitter, CLT, yeah, pretty much CLT Mortgage Guy everywhere. Follow me, like me, share me.
He's awesome.
How about you? Where can I find you?
Ashley Hannah Murphy. I hang out on Instagram a lot. I love it when you send me DMs. I love it when you comment on my posts. I've been really trying to step up my content lately. So
and it's showing. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna slide into your DM.
Yeah, slide into my DMs. I love that. And I love interacting on there. You can also call, text, send a carrier pigeon. I don't care. I'm with your real estate needs.
Rock and roll.
All right.
See you too.
Cool. See y'all on the 30th.
Yeah, on the 30th, not 1, 2, but 3 weeks.
That's right.
All right. Later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.